up, choombas, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you for joining me in the second video in my series of Begin Calisthenics. So, in this video, we're going to be covering the second workout, which is our calisthenics leg day. So, I get the question all the time as a personal trainer, like, Ty, is it even possible to train with pure body weight for legs? And my answer is absolutely yes. And how we do so is, if we think of weight training for a sec, we typically have a squat, we have a hinge such as a deadlift, single leg, loaded lunges, stuff like that. So we have a squat, hinge, single leg. Now, we can absolutely apply all those movements to body weight only, and we just have to alter some variations, whether that be intensity or the type of movement. So yes, it is completely possible to build strength and muscle with purely calisthenics. But keep in mind, if you're thinking of like big gigantic barrel oak legs, weight training would be much more, I guess, simple to progress, because you could just, add more weight to whatever you're doing. The progressive overload stimulation is much easier to achieve with weight training, but still is possible with body weight. Alright, my choombas, now that we got that out of the way, the first order of business, much like our first pull-push day, is the mobility matrix. So what the dynamic movements we're going to do to warm up our joints for our leg day. So, let's jump into that. Okay, choombas, so to start our leg mobility matrix, we're going to start with an internal-external rotation drill for our hips, known as the 90-90 swivel. So the 90-90 position is this right here. We're going to create two 90-degree angles within our legs. The swivel itself is you're going to be sitting over top your hip, and you're just going to gently move to the other side, rotate, and come back to the start position. Each side is one, so that's 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. And if you can't sit directly over your hips at the start, that's fine. You can sit a little bit further back, or if you need to use your hands to get to each position, that is totally acceptable. So in this program, we're going to go for 10 hip swivels plus 1 leg swing. So the leg swing portion is when you're in the 90-90, we're going to now shift our weight to the front leg. And at the end, so after you've done your 10th rep, you're going to stop on that one side. With the back leg, we're going to straighten it directly out, slowly as we can, swing it in front, and bring it back to that start position. Come back to the other side, same thing. Shift our weight over to the front leg, kick our back leg straight out, swing gently and slowly in front of us, and bring it back to complete the first mobility drill. Okay, choombas, after our 10 90-90 swivels with our 1 hip swing per side, we go on to the PPL to hamstring stretch for 10 per side. That stands for posterior pelvic lunge. So I'll show that quickly. So we're in a lunge position, and what you're going to try to do with your pelvis is you're going to shift it into a posterior tilt. We're going to try to tuck your bum under your spine. When you do so, you might feel a nice deep stretch in the quadriceps, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's what the PPL stands for. So what the mobility drill is we're going to start in that lunge position. We're going to get into our posterior pelvic tilt. And then we're going to sit back, stretch out the hamstring for a quick second, come back up into that post tilt, gently shifting a little bit further forward, and then rocking back. So that's 1. Shift that pelvis under. That's 2, and we would do 10 per side. So I'll show you from the side here. So we set our lunge position, posteriorly tilt, lean forward, get a nice deep quick stretch on, push through the heel, stretch out the hamstring, and shift back for 10 total per side. Alright, my friends, after our PPL to hamstring stretch, we have the next mobility drill, which is our lunge matrix for 3 per side. How the lunge matrix works is we're going to be going into a slow forward lunge, into a slow back lunge, and then into a side lunge. Sorry if I went off frame there. and that is 1. And then I would do that for 2 more times on that side to complete 3, okay? So I'll show you from the side here. So we're going to get into that forward lunge, shift weight into that backwards, and then into the Cossack or the side lunge to complete the series, okay? 3 per side, and then we can move on to the final mobility drill. Alright, my chooms, and to finish off our mobility drill, we're going to warm up our ankle and our front of shin here with the anterior tibialis raise. So you need something to lean against, like a wall. You can use a post, whatever you got. So we're going to lean gently against the wall. The steeper you go, the more challenging it'll be. And all you're going to do is dorsiflex. And if you don't know what that is just bringing your toes to your shin. That is 1. And we're going to go for 25 nice and controlled anterior tibialis raises, okay? And once you've done that, you're ready to go into the primary movements. Okay, my choombas, the first exercise in our calisthenics leg day is the 1 1/2 squat. So, your first objective is to set your squat position. If you don't know how to do that, I would go check out my channel. It's my very first video, and that'll help you a lot to squat more comfortably. So, once we've set our squat position, the 1 1/2 squat looks like so. So your hands could be forward, to the sides, on your shoulders, back of head, whatever is most comfortable for you. So we're going to go down as low as we comfortably can. We're going to come halfway up, back down, and then all the way to the top. And that's it. That's the 1 1/2. So again, down, forcing the knees out, proud chest, up halfway, all the way down, and rise back up, locking out the knees and extending through the glutes. Now, we're going to go for 2 to 4 sets, depending on time and your skill level, and you're going for 8 to 15 reps. Now, bodyweight squats, a lot of people have really good muscular endurance on, so you could do these for days. So my challenge for you, if you want to truly make this harder on yourself, don't just go down and bounce back up. Really control the movement. So, go down nice and slow, maybe like a 3 to 5 count. Pause briefly. Come up for 1 to 2. Back down. And then all the way back up. And that should offer a better challenge for your squat movement, okay? So again, 2 to 4 sets, depending on your time and your skill level. 8 to 15 reps. Resting 60 to 90 seconds in between. Alright, choombas, after we've done our 2 to 4 sets of our 1 1/2 squats for 8 to 15 reps, we move on to the next exercise, the ring kickback hinge. So you're going to need the ring for balance, and that's pretty much it. So I set it up where the top of the ring is just under my pec, and I'll show you how to do it from here. So we're going to grab on with our, so if you're standing on your left leg, your right hand will be grabbing the ring. And what you're going to do is you're going to push the bum back, so think deadlift motion here, hinge at the hip. We're going to push the bum back, reach the hand forward. With the floating leg, we're going to kick it straight out, trying to keep our hips level to the ground or square to the ground. And then that's why I have the ring for balance in case yours sucks like mine. And then we're going to explosively come to the top, and that's 1. And then we would rinse and repeat, hinge at the hip, kick out, straighten that arm, explosively come up, 2. And again, on this one, we're going for 2 to 4 sets of 8 to 15 reps per side, resting 60 to 90 seconds in between. Now, again, legs are really, really strong, so I challenge you on this one. Don't just fly through it like no tomorrow. Pay attention to what you're doing. Really feel that hamstring stretch as you push the hips back and kick out that leg. And then when you come up, make it explosive as you can and slow in that lower phase, okay? After completing set amount of reps and sets, you may move on to the next exercise. Alright, choombas, after we've completed our ring kickback hinge for 2 to 4 sets of 8 to 15 per side, we move on to our next exercise. So we've done the squat, we've done the hinge, now we're going to work on the single leg. And for this exercise, I've chosen a step up. So you can use stairs, a sturdy chair, a box like myself, and I would recommend having some sort of balance assistance if yours is questionable like myself. So how the step up works, I left it broad, so we can do two variations. We can do a lateral and or a forward, I guess you could say. So I'll show you the lateral first. So you're going to start by standing on whatever surface you've chosen. The higher the surface, the harder it's going to be. So if you're a beginner, maybe start on a stair and work your way up to something like so. But from here, we're going to stand with the working leg on the box, and the other leg will be dangling off in dorsiflexion. You'll see why in a second. From the start position, we're going to push the bum back, hinging at the hip, and we're going to slowly bring our leg down the box till we tap our heel to the ground, making sure our knee stays in line with the second toe, or the one right beside your big toe. Pressing all the way through the top leg or the working leg, you're going to come back up to that top position, extending the hip. So the reason you stay in dorsiflexion is because you don't want to rest on and push off with both. You want the working leg to be doing all the work. Okay? And then the other variation is a forward step up. So you would do the exact same thing, only now you stand facing forward on the box, and you would do the same thing. Force that knee out, hinge at the hip, tap that leg down, and drive back up, extending the hip. Okay, so we come down, force that knee in line with that second toe, drive up, extending the leg fully, engaging the glute, and so on and so forth. So, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 15 reps per side, obviously, because it's single leg, resting 60 to 90 seconds in between before we move on to the final exercise in our day. All right, Choombas, and once we finish our step-ups, we move to the final exercise in the first calisthenics leg day in Begin Calisthenics, the star side plank hip thrust. So that's kind of a mouthful, but it'll make sense in a second. So I always like to add an accessory when it comes to all our movements. So like in our leg motions, we got our squat pattern, our single leg, our hinge, and our accessories could be your calves or your glutes. So I've chosen a glute exercise for our accessory, okay? So how it works is we're going to get into a side plank position, but notice my bottom knee is bent and my top leg is going to be straight and hovering. And just so you can see from the front side of my body, your elbow wants to be directly under your shoulder when you go up into the side plank, okay? But for now, we got to see this side of my body. So once we have that position, we're going to come up into our side plank. And this hand could be here for balance. If you're strong enough, you can hold it up. The bottom or the top leg is going to hover. And now what I want you to think of is your squat. So you're going to push your bum back until it taps the ground and come back up to that top position. So now we're forcing the knee to push into the ground, which is causing external rotation or hip abduction, I guess that would be, to get the glutes nice and active. So again, we come on up, have that leg hover, go into our squat, drive up, thrusting the hips forward. And we would go for 8 to 15 reps per side for 2 to 4 sets, I think I said. Yeah, and you're resting 60 to 90 seconds in between. So I'll show you from this side so you can see. Again, up in that bridge, leg hovers, think squat, thrust the hips forward. So you don't want the hips to go too far forward. You don't want to start with them too far back. You want to start in a nice straight line as you go through the motion, okay? And yeah, after you've completed all required sets and reps, we can move on to the cool down. Okay, my Choombas, so now that your legs are torched, it's going to feel pretty good to stretch them out and lengthen them a bit and go into the cool down. So the Begin Calisthenic leg day kinetic chain cool down starts with the side laying quadricep stretch. So you're going to be laying on your side with your bottom leg. We're going to tuck our knee as tight as we can to our chest to create a posterior pelvic tilt, just to help get an extra stretch on our quads and hip flexors. With the top leg, you're going to grab and you're going to try to pull as far as you can behind you, as comfortably as you can, until you feel the stretch in the front of the leg, and you're going to hold for 30 seconds per side. Okay, so again, one more time on the setup, lay on your side, bring that bottom knee to your chest, creating a posterior tilt, grab the ankle, and pull the leg gently back until you feel the stretch, okay? If you want to try to engage more of a post tilt, that's a bonus, but entirely up to you. After your 30 seconds per side, we're going to stand up, and we got the single leg calf and hamstring stretch. So this is going to look like so. We're going to put one leg straight on our heel in front of us, and then we're just going to hinge at the hip, keeping our back nice and straight until we feel the stretch in the hamstring and the calf. And you're just going to hold out there for 30 seconds per side. Show you from the front. So we plant the leg in dorsiflexion, hinge at the hip till we feel that nice stretch in the back of the leg, okay? 30 seconds per side. And then to end it, we drop back down to the ground, back into our 90-90 position. And we're going to go back to that front leg. And thinking like a hinge or a deadlift, we're going to push our bum back, keeping our chest nice and straight, just until we feel a pull in the glute. And we would hold for 30 seconds per side. So I'll show you from the side so you can see. We find that position here, proud chest, sink the hips back, push them back like a hinge, and get as low as you can till you feel that stretch in your glute, okay? And after that, you've completed your workout. Very good job. And there we have it, Choombas. Thank you so much for trying out my Begin Calisthenics Leg Day. Please let me know if you give it a go, how it makes your legs feel, if you like it, in the comments below. And yeah, if you have any further questions on any of the movements, any of the sequences, or you need to see anything from a different angle, let me know. Shoot me an email, and I'm more than happy to discuss with you guys openly. So thanks for hanging out with me today. And yeah, so we got the pull-push combo, we got the leg day, and we got a couple more days to come. So stay tuned for the rest of this series, guys. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.